And we are going to move on to the edge. The edge. That is our new thing. So I won't be making a bunch of bets like I used to. That's not something I'm going to be doing anymore. I'm not going to be doing over, under, and all of these bets and money lines and all that. We're not doing that anymore. All we're doing here is focusing on the picks themselves, and then basically getting really confident picks out of this. And then you can use those picks to make your own bets. I mean, obviously, you know, I'll recommend some things along the way, but that's the basic premise of the edge. I'm giving somebody an edge in the matchup, and yeah, you can use that wisdom as however you see fit. And I also want to give a recap. Of course, I haven't done the edge in the past, but I did do them myself for UFC 297 in Toronto. So I'll give you a quick recap of how that went, and you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. So, the recap. I don't give one out to every single matchup because some of them are too close. And usually in those ones, as I will mention, you would want to pick the underdog. Because really, if it's close enough that I can't tell who's going to win, you might as well go for the underdog. That's where the profit is. So that's why I'm saying there is, you know, even though I don't outright say like, hey, bet on the underdog, blah, 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 you know, you can then use that knowledge the best you can. So if I can't figure out who's going to be winning, the bet is probably just take the underdog. And again, I will say that along the way, I'm sure. Yeah, and the ones that I do pick usually end up being in the parlays. Sometimes they're actually the underdog and I pick them, so that usually ends up being the top dog. And yeah, you can add them into your own parlays, whatever, do your own thing. But yeah, the recap here is started off the night with actually my sniper pick for UFC 297, Jasmine Jasudavicius. Easy win. So that was another sniper pick that we cashed in on pretty easily. Yeah, and that was the first edge that I handed out to Jasmine. She took the win, so started off nice with a win there. Then picked the other Canadian woman on the card, Jillian Robertson. So we started off nice, 2-0, beautiful. Literally could not have gone better right there. And then took a little bit of a dip. We took a bit of an L there. Ended up going with another Canadian, Charles Jourdain. You know, I mean, we had a little bit of confusion there with the split decision. He almost got the win there, but ultimately did not get the win over Woodson there. I was a little bit surprised by that. I thought he was going to do much better in that matchup. Seemed like the otherworldly length of Woodson ended up being a huge problem there, and just couldn't get past it. I was pretty surprised. I really thought he was going to do a lot better than that. I really thought he had a fairly, I wouldn't say an easy win, but I thought he was going to have a pretty clear path to victory, especially with his grappling. That didn't really help him out, so I was pretty surprised there. Then we took another L from the Canadian, oh my god, Brad Katona. I mean, I'm not going to lie, this one was a bit of a slight edge. I considered not giving him the edge and just saying it was even, because on Tapology, I actually picked, I think I picked Armfield, yeah. I believe I picked Armfield on Tapology. Or no, I would never have done that, no. What did I do? I did something with Armfield. I think I made a bet on him as an underdog. So when I did that, I don't know why I ended up actually giving him the edge. So I don't really know. I don't know. Oh, no, maybe it was on Tapology I gave it to Armfield. So why I would have given him the edge and then picked Armfield on Tapology, I'm not really sure. Dumb. I'm an idiot in that case. But again, that was the first week I did it. And I still did pretty well, by the way. But I still made some mistakes here and there, that being one of them. because I really did think it was pretty close. But yeah, still a little surprised that it went that way. Again, not completely shocked, but still. So maybe that was a bad example of the edge in Katona's case, because I probably shouldn't have done that. But anyway, it happens. Mistakes happen. That's why I wanted to, you know, I'm not going to hide anything like this. That is just what happened. I can't hide anything. This is what happened. These are the results. I'm very open about all that kind of stuff. So, I ended up making 8 edge picks. So those were the first 4. So we went 2-2. That's not great. That's actually honestly pretty bad in my mind. A 2-2 start. But we're moving on. The next 4. And this ended up being really the whole main card ended up being featured really next. And that started with Evloev. And that actually got pretty questionable at sometimes too. I was getting a little worried there, but kept the undefeated record going. I figured he was going to be able to do exactly what he did. But yeah, it did get a bit dicey there, especially with those knees in there. But honestly, had faith in him the whole time. Glad he picked up the win, although I do like Arnold Allen. But for the sake of this, I'm glad that Evloev won. And that brings us to 3-2. Then next up, another very close one, really. Chris Curtis got a bit dicey again there. I really thought he was going to walk through this pretty easily. I thought he was going to win a pretty obvious decision. It was honestly a lot closer than the scorecards read. I believe it ended up being 30-27 on 2 of the cards and 29-28. Don't quote me on that, because honestly, that was a couple weeks ago and I kind of forget. But I think that's how it ended up going. But yeah, still got the win though, so we're all good. But yeah, another dicey one there. Then, good God, I mean, I should have just given myself the win here, because he basically won the fight and then lost it in the last 30 seconds. I mean, good Lord. So, I mean, no regrets picking him there. I mean, I think that was the right pick. He just, oh my God, I don't have my new graphic for you blew it, but he blew it. He really did. I mean, that's the definition of blowing it, is losing in the last 30 seconds like that. For really no reason. I mean, he ended up going for a heel hook and doing some weird shit on the ground. No, like, should not have done that. Should not have done that at all. But, you know, hopefully he learns from that, comes back better. Still, I would say the top Canadian prospect, at least for the male side. I think overall it might actually be Jasmine. I think she is pretty clearly become the best Canadian prospect, Jasmine Jasudavicius. Malott, I would say second. He is the second best Canadian prospect. And I mean, really, like I said, I don't really know how we can shit on him too much. I mean, he literally won 14 and a half minutes of that fight and then just lost at the end. So I don't really know how you can fault him too much for that. But yeah, hurt us here, obviously, with these picks. And then finally, I actually did end up giving an underdog an edge here, and that was DDP. I picked DDP because I just thought he was going to walk through. I thought he was going to walk through Strickland. I honestly thought he was going to get a KO. I really did. I thought maybe first round, maybe second round, maybe even the third round, we were going to see a KO. Didn't end up getting the KO, and it was a very close fight. But ultimately, I think DDP won. There were some people out there that disagreed. I disagree with you. I think DDP very clearly won that. But I don't know. I thought he won 3-2. And actually, if I'm being real, I scored it a tie on verdict. I forget which round it was, but there was one 10-10 round on my cards. And then it was 2-2. So for me, it was actually a tie. But if I was going to give the edge, I did end up giving it to DDP. And on Tapology, had DDP. So I had DDP all week. So boom, there we go. And overall, if you weren't counting, that would be bringing us to the record And this is where, of course, I'll show you the entire record of everything we've ever had. But of course, that was the first week, so you could have just counted them up. But overall, that means we're at a shiny 5-3, which isn't, well, we'll just say it's a slightly rusty 5-3, because honestly, that's not that good in my mind. But we'll take it. We'll take it. 5-3. Okay. I mean, I'm not trying to be cocky or anything, because this is just the start of it, but I fully expect to have about a 75 to 85% win rate on this. So 5-3, not great in my mind. I would have liked to start out with a 7-1 or 6-2, but some pretty shocking results there, honestly, especially with Malott. That was a bad one. And then, again, don't really know. I feel like I slightly regret picking Katona, because, again, I did have him. I believe I had him on Tapology. I'm going to have to check on that, but yeah. So, record could be better, but hey, again, it's the first week. I made some mistakes. Malott fucked up. And hey, we still got a winning record. So that really just tells you how this should be going in the future, that we will probably, well, hopefully, knock on wood, be getting a winning record every single week. Hopefully. That's how I'm hoping it's going to work out, obviously. And that is it for the recap there.